40 Years of Psychic Research, A Plain Narrative of Fact by Hamlin Garland is a nonfiction book that chronicles the author's personal experiences and observations in the field of psychic research. Over the course of 40 years, Garland delves into various aspects of the paranormal, including telepathy, clairvoyance, and psychokinesis. He also explores the work of other prominent researchers in the field, such as William James and Sir Oliver Lodge. Through case studies, Garland presents evidence for the existence of psychic phenomena and argues for their scientific legitimacy. He also discusses the challenges and controversies surrounding psychic research. 40 Years of Psychic Research offers a comprehensive and engaging overview of the field of psychic research, as well as an intriguing look into the mysteries of the human mind. Sample. In 1891, I was an aspiring young writer with an attic study in Boston, a novelist holding a keen interest in positive science. As a student of Herbert Spencer, I counted myself an agnostic and an evolutionist. But among my most loyal friends at this time was B.O. Flower, a mystic and an editor of The Arena, the leading radical magazine of that day. As a young man of about my own age, that is to say 31, Flower was my generous advocate. He had already published a number of my articles and stories, a fact which indicates his belief in me, as a fictionist at least. That he was a spiritualist I well knew, but we had never argued the matter. Like myself, he was a student of Darwin and had a special regard for Alfred Russel Wallace, who, though one of the leading evolutionists, had written in support of the spiritualistic hypothesis. One day, as we were chatting in his office, Flower said to me, "A group of us are going to organize an American Psychic Society with central office here in Boston. Nominally, there's an American branch of the English Society, but actually the organization consists of one man, Hodgson, the resident secretary, who does very little but draw his salary. We are determined on an organization which will do something in the way of experimental research. We want you to come in as one of our directors." Surprised and somewhat amused by this request, I protested that I didn't know a thing about such matters, and that my mind ran toward the positive sciences. "That's just why we want you," replied Flower. "You're young, logical in your thought, and a close observer. Furthermore, you're not bereaved as so many people are who go into this work. You're not a mourner. You can approach an experiment with unprejudiced mind. We need a youth of your positive character. I'm also asking Professor Dolbear of Tufts College to serve with us. He's a physicist and an inventor and the author of a book on matter and motion. He and you will offset Minute J. Savage and Allen, who are already committed to the spirit side of the question as I am. Rabbi Schindler, who is inclined to the negative side, has also consented to act, and we shall have, I hope, one or two other men of science. Our secretary, Ernest Allen, will edit the journal which we intend to publish. Up to this time, I'd given very little thought to the dark side of the moon, although in my youth I had listened to stories told by my father in which he described my mother as a young girl acting the part of a medium. In his report, my grandfather's house in southern Wisconsin during the early 50s had been the stage of a series of singular dramas, in which my mother, a girl of 10 or 12, and her brother Franklin, a child of 5, had been chief actors. Settlers came from all parts of the country to hear mysterious raps and see tables move without apparent cause. Chairs would follow Isabel up the stairs, and Frank, a little shaver who couldn't read or spell a word, wrote on slates long messages full of cuss words and obscene threats. It was this development in Frank's case which led your father, McClintock, to stop it all. "It's the work of the devil," he declared. In confirmation of all this, one of my aunts, a gentle, lovely character, said, "Yes, these forces made my life a hell for 2 years." With these stories in mind, and with a natural curiosity as to the facts, I said to Flower, "I will come on the board of directors if Dolbear does. I know something of his work as a professor of physics, and if he is disposed to investigate, I'll follow along with him." Pleasantly excited by the vista which this connection opened out before me, I was careful to stipulate that my duties on the committee should not interfere with my work as a writer. Quote, "I will give my afternoons and evenings to investigations, but my mornings must not be disturbed." End quote. To this, Flower agreed, and a few days later I met the directors and was introduced to them. The president of the society, Minute J. Savage, was a scholarly and highly respected Unitarian clergyman whom I had often heard speak and whom I greatly admired. Rabbi Solomon Schindler, another skeptical member of the board, was one of the best-known Jewish speakers in Massachusetts, a sturdy, scholarly man of German birth. The Reverend Ernest Allen, who acted as secretary, was a blond, smiling, curly-haired man of about my own age. Although fairly committed to the spirit hypothesis, he remained, as I soon discovered, a very keen investigator. He had an orderly mind and was given to making numbered, precise statements of his theories. Amos Emerson Dolbear, professor of physics at Tufts College, was a typical Yankee, thin, keen-eyed, quick-spoken, and dryly humorous.